Hello and welcome to the Mousy Makes podcast. I'm Helen and I'm very happy that you've come along today to spend a bit of time with me. Isn't that a lovely quote that I've put just at the start of this episode about life being so frenzied, and when you pick up something with your hands, it doesn't just have to be knitting, then you can calm right down, just focus on what your hands are doing and forget about the rest of the world for a while. That's a really lovely quote. So today, I'm not going to chat too much today actually. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about just the progress of my current projects, knitting and crochet projects, and I'm going to take you into the kitchen for a little bit of a treat, and then I've got a little story for you, which is kind of a snowy story with a bit of snowy video at the end. So let's get started. I've had a really good run of finishing projects recently. I know they're all small. I'm not knitting anything large like a jumper or anything, which definitely would take me a very long time. So what have I got? I'm going to show you some photos as well while I'm talking, some photos, a video of the things I've finished, so I don't have to hold them up to the camera and try and wait for them to focus and things. So the first thing that I've finished is the crochet shawl that I've been making, the Drucilla pattern, which I've made once before, and this time using a different yarn, the one that I call sheepies. No idea how you say it really, but in this lovely light blue colour, which has got tiny little bits of sort of pale purple in it as well. It's really pretty, and then with a sort of a medium blue for the border. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. When I started making it, I was a bit worried that it wouldn't really have the same drape as the yarn I used before, the Devonia yarn, but actually now that it's blocked and the right size and everything, it seems to drape really nicely, so I'm very happy with it. I'm so happy that I've started another one, but I'm not going to show you that today, actually. I haven't got very far with it at all. So what else have I finished? Yeah, I finished knitting the hat that I've been making using from this Knitting of the North book, and I'm really pleased with that too, actually. I love the colours. I love the two greens and the ivory colour together. I think they look really nice. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. I've already worn it out in the snow. I might put a photo in me actually wearing it as well. So yeah, really happy with that. The Shetland Spindrift yarn is what I used. I can't remember the actual names of the colourways, but if I can find the labels again, I'll put it in the description below, as I will any of the things that I comment today. I nearly always try and put in the description box below in case you want to go and look it up and do something the same as me. I have finished making the fingerless mitts that I was making last time. I've just started the second one, I think last time I showed you, and they're great. They fit me really nicely, and I think they'll be nice and cosy and warm. I'm still not convinced that I really love them, even though I like the colours. I don't know why it is. I don't know what it is about those mitts. Anyway, I've got some lovely fingerless mitts that I wear at the moment. I wear it a lot when I'm out and about, because I quite often take photos or little videos, so it's nice to have my fingers free but still have warm hands. They're ones that my daughter made me, and I really love them, but they are getting a bit the worse for wear. I've worn them a lot, and so I just thought I would make myself an extra pair, and then can make the other ones last a bit longer. So that's the shawl, the hat, the mitts, and then finally the other thing I've finished is the little bear that I was making. Oh, he is so adorable. I love him. I told you I loved him last time, even when I'd only just done his head, I think. Maybe I'd done his arms as well. Anyway, he's really lovely. I especially like his jumper, which was very, very fiddly. I've never done such a fiddly cabled jumper before, and I love his little pom-pom hat, and I decided to make him some socks. There wasn't a pattern for socks, but I just used the leg and foot pattern that was there for when I made the legs. and turn them into socks. Yeah, so really good. I feel like maybe he needs some trousers, but you know, he's a bear, he's got fur. I think he'll be okay. But I might have a go at making him some trousers. But I just think it's amazing. I cannot praise the pattern, or the pattern maker, the designer, highly enough. It was such a great pattern to follow. It was really brilliant. You know, I felt like I had help and support all the way through, and despite the fact that it was, you know, overall it was quite a fiddly thing to do, you know, there was no problems. I just had to slowly work my way through the pattern, listen to what the designer was telling me. So there we go. So I've called him Benedict. So he's Benedict Bear, and I think he may well have to have a friend. But yeah, I have actually not started another bear yet. You can go and sit up there with Mousie. Can you sit up there okay? Yeah, Mousie enjoys having a new friend here. Yeah, so I've started, rather than another bear straight away, I've started the mouse pattern by the same designer, Sadie Souris. And yeah, as you can see, I haven't got very far with it. One of the things that I love about the pattern is that there is no guesswork as to where to put the eyes or the ears, because as you go along you put yarn in, you thread yarn through the stitches where the eyes will actually go, and also you put yarn through the stitches as you go along, which you'll pick up to do the ears. So most of the little toys that I make, you have to really, you know, guess where to put the eyes and ears, and it's really, really hard to get them even, you know, not without a lot of fiddling about. So that is one of the things that I like about this designer. So yeah, so I will show you more progress of Sadie another time. The other thing that's still on the go is my blanket. Here's a picture of the Mitred-square blanket that I'm making out of leftover sock yarn, and I've got now 28 squares, and I'm very pleased with the way it's going. Still enjoying that. I think I am definitely getting better at picking up stitches and getting a bit faster at it. I have actually bought a piece of fleece, because I've decided to put when I finish the squares blanket, I'm actually going to back it. I don't normally do that, but I just fancy having a really cosy blanket with fleece on one side and, you know, the lovely knitted squares on the other side. And it also will remind me of the very first blanket that I made, which I told you about a little while ago. The first blanket I made when I was about 8 or 9, and I was knitting little squares when I went to Brownies, and my mum had sewn a backing onto that as well. So I'm kind of remembering that blanket and doing the same thing with this one when I get there. But I've bought the fleece already so that I can make sure that I get the size that I want. So there we go. That's all of my projects finished or on the go at the moment. So I'm going to take you into the kitchen next, and we're going to make some absolutely delicious lemon curd. It's a recipe my mum gave me. She just lives by herself, so she never needs to make a huge amount of lemon curd, and she came across this recipe for making lemon curd in the microwave, which is brilliant. So you just make a small amount in one go, and it keeps for about 3 weeks in the fridge and is really, really delicious. So I'm not quite sure where she got the recipe from, but I will put it in the description below, or you will see the ingredients come up as you watch the video, but I'll also put the recipe below if you want to give it a go. I can highly recommend it. It's really, really delicious. So here we go. Come to the kitchen with me. Is your mouth watering now? Why don't you give it a go? It's really, really nice. I'm not going to chat to you for much longer today, actually. I'm going to read you a short story. And it's from a book that I've bought recently. Just came across it by accident. I love the title of the book. I knew I would love it. Just from the title, it's called The Quiet Music of Gently Falling Snow by Jackie Morris, who is actually an illustrator, but it turns out she's a really gifted writer as well. And the book came about in an unusual way. She actually did the illustrations first, and the illustrations were Christmas cards that she designed for a charity called Help Musicians UK. And she then took these cards, pictures on them, and used them as a prompt for a series of short stories. And they're absolutely beautifully written. They're very poetic. It's poetic prose, definitely. And I'm going to read you the first one in the book, which is called The Quiet Music of Gently Falling Snow. While you see some of the snow that we've had recently, we've had more snow, and I always go for a walk when it's snowy because I love the snow so much. And when I've finished reading the little story, then I'm going to show you some of the animals that I sometimes meet when I'm out on my walks. And you'll also see one or two bits of video of some birds that I saw the last time I was out. I was so excited when I was just walking through the woods, and I noticed almost at my feet some tiny little birds, which are actually called goldcrests, and they are in fact the smallest bird in Europe. I'd never seen any so close up before, and they didn't seem too worried about me. I mean, I didn't go too close with my camera. I didn't want to scare them away, but you can see what they're up to. They're scrabbling about in the snow, obviously looking for some food. And so you'll see them at some point. And also on the same walk, I was coming nearly home, and on the snowy trees at the side of the path, I saw some bullfinches, some bright red bullfinches. So although I didn't get that close up to them to take nice close-up shots of them, you can see them in the bushes because everything else was white and they're bright red. So really lovely little birds. So I hope you can enjoy a little story and then a few more scenes from my snowy walk. Okay, here we go.
The Quiet Music of Gently Falling Snow by Jackie Morris. Listen. In the still, cold air of early morning there would be only silence, but for the quiet music of gently falling snow. No leaves cling to the trees. Beneath stone-hard ground snakes sleep, coiling in cold dreams. Winter. Not a bird stirs. The only movement is falling flakes, and as they fall she can see each intricate pattern, each individual, unique. And as they fall she can hear the note as the crystal merges with others to become a tapestry of white covering the earth. Many musicians had played that night, but she had arrived late. Everyone was waiting. It had not been hard to find. She had followed the path of music through the trees and slipped silent, unnoticed, between the notes of a fiddler's reel into the warm golden light. The lion waited outside for a while. She had a way about her, could disappear into any crowd if she desired to be invisible. She wore this glamour like a cloak. And so, while the fiddler played up a storm to fill the waiting hours, she sat in a quiet corner, casting her eyes around, tuning her instrument. When the dance ceased and the last echo of notes died away, people stood, breathless, waiting for the next song. she dropped her glamour of invisibility and began to play. And her song told a story as her voice blended with the notes, and all voices hushed, and all eyes, all ears turned to her, for this was what they had all been waiting for.
Well, thank you so much for spending some of your time with me again, and I do hope you'll come back again very soon. I'll be back again with another episode next Monday, and in the meantime, if you want to see what else I'm getting up to, you could try looking at my Instagram account or taking a quick look at my little website. I always call it a little website because there's not really much on it at the moment, but there is something to see there, so you might like to go and have a look at that. But otherwise, I'll see you next time, and I look forward to you being here again. Okay, bye.